On my 17th birthday, I ran through a thunderstorm carrying my own birthday cake. My bike had broken down halfway to the restaurant. My shoes were soaked through. Water dripped from my sleeves every time I moved. The cardboard cake box had gone soft around the edges, and the frosting inside had probably survived the trip about as well as I had. Still, I kept running, because Vivian Shaw was waiting for me. At least, that was what I told myself. Then I reached the private room, stopped outside the half-open door, and heard the voice of the one person I had specifically told Vivian I never wanted to see again. Tyler Brooks. He laughed from inside. Seriously, Vivian, thank you. It's pouring out there, and you still drove all the way over to pick me up. My hand tightened around the cake box. For a second, I thought I had heard wrong. Then I pushed the door open. The room went quiet. Everybody was already there. Classmates, friends, a few people I barely recognized. Tyler and Vivian, dry, clean, standing beside him. Meanwhile, I was dripping water onto the floor like somebody had dragged a stray dog in from the rain. One guy near the table glanced at my soaked cake box, then quickly looked away. Someone else stopped smiling. Vivian's expression changed the second she saw me. Owen. I looked at Tyler, then at her. Why is he here? Nobody spoke. So I asked again. Vivian, why is Tyler here? She stepped toward me. Owen, listen first. No. My voice came out rougher than I expected. Have you been with him after school these last few days? Her eyes flickered. That tiny pause already told me the answer. Yes. But and today? I looked at Tyler. He just said you picked him up. Owen, did you? Vivian's jaw tightened. Yes. Something inside my chest went very still. Then she reached for my wrist. Tyler wanted to apologize properly. I stared at her. He bought you a birthday gift, she continued. He invited everybody because he wanted witnesses. He said he wanted to clear up everything that happened. Clear up. Owen. He framed me twice. Tyler lowered his eyes. Perfect timing. Perfect wounded expression. Vivian kept going. I thought if you two could finally talk, the misunderstanding would be over. I laughed once. Misunderstanding. He really isn't a bad person. There it was. And then came the sentence I had started to hate more than almost anything else. Your classmates. There's no reason to make everything so tense. No reason. Don't make it ugly. It's not a big deal. Variations of the same thing. Every time Tyler did something to me, somebody found a way to explain why I was the difficult one for being angry about it. I lowered my eyes. There was an expensive watch around my wrist. Vivian had given it to me early because we had been fighting. I'd looked at the model a few times online. Never said I wanted it. Never asked. The price had been ridiculous enough that even Vivian, who came from serious money, wouldn't have bought it casually. A week earlier, that watch had meant so much to me that I had slept with it on. Now I slowly unclasped it. Vivian went pale. Owen. I placed the watch in her hand. Her fingers curled around it automatically. What are you doing? I looked at her. Normally, this was where I would have lost my temper. Normally, I would have demanded she choose. Normally, I would have asked how she could possibly keep defending him. But I was suddenly too tired. I looked at the wet cake, then at Tyler, then at Vivian, and quietly said, Happy birthday to me. I turned around. That was the last day Vivian Shaw saw me for 9 years. But Tyler didn't destroy our relationship in one birthday party. It had been happening piece by piece for weeks. And the worst part, I had seen every warning. I just kept pretending I hadn't. I transferred into Westbridge Prep's top academic cohort halfway through the school year. Getting there had taken everything I had. I wasn't one of those guys who could sleep through class, study for 20 minutes, and somehow score 98%. I studied constantly, after dinner, on weekends, during lunch, whenever everybody else was hanging out. My parents had died when I was young. My grandmother raised me in an old apartment complex, where everybody knew everybody else's business. She wasn't wealthy. She wasn't highly educated. But she spent years telling me, if you get a chance to change your life, don't waste it. Then she died. After that, getting into Westbridge's top cohort stopped being just about school. It felt like proof that everything Grandma had sacrificed hadn't been for nothing. So when I got in, I was proud. Also completely alone. Everybody else in that class already had their little groups, and Tyler Brooks sat right in the middle of all of them. Class president, high grades, always smiling, always volunteering. If someone forgot notes, Tyler had extras. If somebody needed help with homework, he helped. If a teacher needed boxes moved, Tyler somehow appeared before anyone else got out of their chair. People literally joked that he was St. Tyler, the nicest guy in school. Then one day, St. Tyler accused me of cheating on an exam. He didn't make a dramatic public accusation that would have made him look bad. He simply reported something suspicious. Very responsible, very concerned, very Tyler. Within one lunch break, the rumors spread across the entire school. By recess, our classroom doorway was packed. People from other classes were standing outside trying to look in. I sat at my desk. Tyler had his head down. Students surrounded him, comforting him. That part still makes me laugh. I was the one accused of cheating. He was the one being comforted. One girl rubbed his back. You probably just saw something wrong because you were trying to keep the exam fair. Someone else nodded. Everybody makes mistakes. Another guy glanced toward me. It's just a misunderstanding. Then, Owen doesn't need to make such a huge deal about it. People started looking at me, not aggressively, almost expectantly, like they were waiting for me to perform my role. Tell Tyler it was okay. Forgive him. Make everybody comfortable again. I looked around at them, then said, Tyler owes me an apology. The room got quieter. One person sighed. Somebody rolled their eyes. Tyler slowly raised his head. His eyes were red. I know I was wrong. He swallowed. I really didn't mean it. Then he gave me this miserable little expression. Sorry, okay. The tone was unbelievable. He sounded like I was torturing him. I opened my mouth. Before I could answer, Tyler suddenly stood and ran from the classroom. A few seconds later, someone screamed from the hall. Everybody rushed outside. Tyler was sitting near the bottom of the stairs. His knee was bleeding. His face was buried in his hands. People gathered immediately. Then whispers started. His parents were just in a car accident. No wonder he's unstable right now. Why did Owen have to pressure him? I can't believe this. It was one apology. I stood there, completely stunned. I hadn't touched Tyler, hadn't followed him, hadn't even finished responding. Yet somehow I had pushed him down the stairs emotionally. People moved around me until there was this strange empty space where I stood by myself. And then I saw Vivian. She had just come out of the faculty office. Vivian Shaw, my childhood best friend, the person I trusted most in the world. Vivian had beautiful eyes. With everybody else, they usually looked cold, distant. With me, they had always been softer. Not then. That day, I saw disappointment, blame, like she was silently asking, why did you have to make this worse? My stomach dropped. Vivian hurried toward Tyler. What happened? Everyone started explaining at once. She crouched. Can you stand? Tyler nodded weakly. Vivian put one of his arms around her shoulders and helped him up. They passed me. Tyler's eyes met mine. For half a second, all the sadness disappeared. He smiled. Tiny. Almost invisible. But I saw it. Triumph. That was the moment I knew. He had done it on purpose. And worse, he knew I liked Vivian. I had never confessed to her, but apparently I hadn't hidden it nearly as well as I thought. Tyler had found exactly where to put the knife. Vivian took him to the nurse's office. She didn't talk to me again until later that afternoon. She leaned against the railing outside our classroom while the wind moved her hair. I stood across from her. She looked at me. It was just an apology. I didn't answer. Owen, why did you have to take it so seriously? My throat tightened. You think I'm the problem? That isn't what I said. Then what are you saying? He made a mistake. He accused me of cheating. I know. Do you? My voice sharpened. Because apparently all Tyler has to do is look. Sad for 5 seconds and I become the villain. Vivian stared at me. I laughed bitterly. Why is that? For the first time, she seemed startled by how angry I really was. Her expression softened slightly. You didn't do anything wrong. I looked at her. Then why are you standing here lecturing me instead of him? She looked away. I just don't think there's any reason to make everything so ugly. The bell rang. Students started heading inside. I stayed where I was. That sentence followed me all day. After school, Vivian disappeared. Another student told me. Vivian said something came up. She said, you should go home first. I nodded. Usually, we rode home together. That afternoon, I rode alone. Groups of students passed me 2 or 3 at a time, laughing and talking. I kept looking back. I hated that I did it. Every few blocks, I turned my head. Nothing. I probably checked behind me 100 times. Vivian never appeared. And while I rode, I started remembering how we used to be. Vivian had been famous in our old apartment complex when we were kids. Everybody knew her. Her family had money, but she spent enough time in our neighborhood that all the older women treated her like one of their own. She looked cold. She wasn't. Not with me. If I fought with another kid, Vivian was always first on the scene. Half the time she didn't even ask who started it. She just took my side. I followed her everywhere. Vivian, Vivian, wait, Vivian, look at this. Then I got older, and something about saying her name started making me embarrassed. Because she wasn't just Vivian anymore. She was Vivian, the girl I'd started noticing differently. So I began calling her by her full name, Vivian Shaw. The first time I did it, she stopped walking. She was holding my backpack because I had complained it was too heavy. She looked over her shoulder. Oh, I pretended not to understand. What? Your wings finally grew. I blinked. She narrowed her eyes. You're calling me by my full name now. I felt completely exposed, so I did what any mature teenage boy would do. Vivian Shaw. Vivian Shaw. Vivian Shaw. Vivian Shaw. I kept repeating it until she looked ready to hit me with the backpack. I expected her to tease me. Instead, she stared for several seconds, then sighed. Fine. Her expression was weirdly helpless. I can't control you anymore. Back then, I thought we had forever. That was the problem. When you believe someone will always be there, you tolerate things you probably shouldn't. The next morning, at a Tyler's stairway incident, Vivian was waiting for me like usual. For some pathetic reason, seeing her made my anger disappear a little. On the way to school, I asked casually, "What happened yesterday?" "What? Why did you leave late?" "Something came up. That's it." "Yeah." She didn't explain. I pretended not to care. Then we walked into class. Tyler looked up. His entire face brightened when he saw Vivian. "Morning." Vivian nodded. Then Tyler smiled and added, "And thanks again for walking me home yesterday." I stopped. His smile was polite, handsome, completely harmless. I had never wanted to punch a smile before. There's a first time for everything. I looked at Vivian. She avoided my eyes. So that was her something. Tyler. I ignored her for the rest of the day. During lunch, she tried sitting beside me. I moved. During break, Tyler suddenly approached my desk, holding a cup of hot water. "Owen." I looked up. I wanted to apologize again. Before I could answer, the cup hit the floor. It shattered. Hot water splashed across Tyler's ankle. He screamed. The entire room went silent. Tyler looked down at the broken cup, then at me. I just wanted to apologize. His voice cracked. Every eye moved toward me. Again. Same trick. Different prop. Something in my head clicked. I stood. Tyler's expression changed. I grabbed his wrist. "Great. What? Let's go." "Where?" "The office." He immediately pulled back. "Owen, there are security cameras." His face went white. "We'll ask the school to pull the footage." "I didn't say you did anything. You didn't have to." I pulled him toward the door. "We'll see whether I touch that cup." Suddenly Tyler didn't want justice anymore. "Forget it." "No. I probably didn't hold it properly." "No. Owen, seriously." "It's fine." I said no. I made it about 2 steps. Then somebody blocked my way. Enough. My entire body went cold. "Vivian." Again. I looked at her. She looked tired, annoyed. "Owen, class is about to start." I almost laughed. "That's what you care about." "What? Class? Don't start." That did it. Everything I had been swallowing came up at once. She reached toward me. I shoved her hand away. "What the hell is wrong with you?" Vivian froze. So did everyone else. I almost never yelled at her. "Why do I have to keep getting accused of things I didn't do?" "Owen, why?" She stared. "And every time it happens, you stand there telling me it's nothing." My voice shook. "Maybe it's nothing to you." I pointed at myself. "It matters to me." For 3 seconds, Vivian looked completely lost. Then her voice softened. "That isn't what I meant." Tyler suddenly spoke. "It really was my fault." Everyone turned. I didn't hold the cup properly. Of course, now that cameras were involved, St. Tyler had experienced a miracle. Nobody defended him this time. That almost made me angrier, because it meant they knew. They had always known something wasn't right. I went back to my desk. My face was burning. Vivian quietly placed a packet of tissues beside my hand. "Owen." I ignored her. For the next several days, she stayed close, almost aggressively close. If I left class, Vivian followed. If I went to lunch, she appeared beside me. If I walked home faster, she sped up. I was still angry, but I was 17, and in love. That is one of the worst combinations for maintaining dignity. One afternoon, I tried leaving without her. Vivian caught my sleeve. "Wait." I turned. She had a box. She opened it. A watch sat inside. I recognized it immediately. The same watch I had looked at online several times and then quickly closed because the price made me feel poor. I stared. "Why?" Vivian took my wrist. Stop being mad at me. Vivian. She fastened it. I tried removing it immediately. No. She stopped my hand. I was going to give it to you anyway. My birthday isn't yet. Then you're getting it early. I kept my expression cold. Inside. Completely melted. Absolutely pathetic. That night, I went home and insulted myself for about 10 straight minutes. Then my phone rang. Aunt Grace. Since Grandma died, my aunt had been asking me to move in with her and transfer schools. How much longer are you staying there? I looked at Vivian's watch. A little while. You sure? Yeah. Why? I didn't answer immediately. After Grandma died, only one person still made that city feel like home. Vivian. I just want to stay a little longer. After that, Vivian stopped mentioning Tyler. I assumed she had stopped seeing him. That assumption lasted until my birthday. Someone casually told me that Vivian and Tyler had been spending time together after school for several days. My stomach dropped. Outside, thunder rolled. Rain hammered against the classroom windows. Vivian had originally promised to pick up my birthday cake. Instead, she called. Something came up. What? Can you get the cake? Vivian, I heard you've been. I have to go. The line went dead. I stared at the screen, then did what I had been doing for weeks. Made excuses. I would ask in person. She'd explain. There had to be some reason. I picked up my cake. Then my bike broke. So I ran. I reached that private room soaked through. Heard Tyler thanking Vivian for picking him up. Saw everybody staring at me. And finally understood that I had spent far too long asking somebody else to care about something she had already decided wasn't important. So I gave the watch back. Then I left. No huge argument. No dramatic confession. No begging. That night, I went home and started removing Vivian from my life. Old photos, notes, cheap souvenirs, little objects I had kept for years because Vivian had touched them. Once and 17-year-old me was apparently clinically stupid. I threw away what I could, packed everything else. Aunt Grace handled my school transfer. Later, she told me something strange happened. During class, a girl suddenly ran out after seeing my paperwork being processed. Vivian. She asked Aunt Grace where I'd gone. Again, and again, and again. Aunt Grace asked me later, was she a very close friend? I stared down. No. Then I added, not anymore. Aunt Grace never gave her my address. I changed my number, blocked everything, and disappeared from Vivian Shaw's life. 9 years passed. I finished high school, went to college, graduated with grades better than I had expected. Then I joined a corporate development firm. For the first time in years, my life was quiet. No Tyler, no Vivian, no constantly checking behind me to see whether somebody was coming. I worked a lot. Within 3 years, I had reached a position most people waited much longer for. My co-worker Marcus Reed never let me forget it. One night, we were standing in a massive ballroom at a business reception. He nudged me. Your waiter relaxed. About what? Marcus looked around. Executives, investors, founders, people wearing watches that probably cost more than my first car. Half these people could buy our department. So, you're not nervous. We're nobodies. Marcus stared at me. You joined 3 years ago and already have a job people spend 10 years trying to get. He pointed at me. You are not a nobody. Before I could answer, the front of the ballroom erupted. People started whispering. Then I heard a name. Vivian Shaw. Every muscle in my body locked. Marcus whispered, no way. I slowly looked up. There she was, 9 years older. Different, somehow exactly the same. Vivian wore a perfectly tailored suit. People surrounded her. Her family had always been wealthy, but she hadn't simply inherited a title. She had built her own company, and apparently built it very well. Business publications called her one of the city's most promising young founders. Executives twice her age were smiling at her, like they badly wanted her attention. My first instinct was simple. Leave. I turned around, made it about 3 steps. Owen Carter. Well, there went that plan. The room around me seemed to become quieter. Behind me, heels clicked against the floor. Vivian walked through the crowd, stopped several feet away, and stared. Her eyes were colder than I remembered. But underneath the cold, something else. She smiled without humor. Interesting. I said nothing. You've been hiding from me for 9 years. People nearby started glancing between us. Marcus looked at me like he desperately needed an explanation. I took one small step backward. Vivian noticed. Her face tightened. You still want to run from me? I looked at her. 9 years ago. That question would have made my chest explode. Now, I was mostly tired. Run from you? Yes. I smiled. Who are you that I need to run from? Several people nearby stopped talking. Vivian went pale. Who am I? I should have stopped. I didn't. Old humiliation has an excellent memory. I looked straight at her. Vivian, sure. What the hell are you to me? Her eyes hardened. Say that again. The tension got so uncomfortable Marcus eventually found some excuse to drag me outside. Cold air hit my face. He handed me water. Okay. I drank. What? What was that? Nothing. That woman looked like she wanted to kill you and cry at the same time. I'm leaving. You're not answering me. Another day. I walked toward the parking lot. My phone buzzed. Marcus. ***, you left and Miss Shaw left right after you. Didn't even look back. ***. My heart sped up. Then I heard footsteps. Of course. Vivian had followed me. She stopped in front of my car, breathing harder than she wanted me to notice. You did it again. I stared at her. Did what? Left without saying anything. Her voice sharpened. Are you seriously doing that again? I leaned against the car. What do you want? 9 years. She laughed bitterly. You disappear for 9 years, and that's what you ask me. I didn't disappear. Then why did you transfer without one word? I didn't answer. Why did you block me? Her eyes were getting red. If I hadn't found you tonight, were you actually planning to spend the rest of your life pretending I never existed? Ancient history. I shrug. Who remembers? Something in Vivian's face cracked. You don't remember. Her voice dropped. Owen. How can you not remember? I laughed. Why should I? She froze. Why should I remember being humiliated? My voice hardened. Why should I remember standing in the rain like an idiot? Why should I remember being accused of things I didn't do well? The person I trusted most kept telling me it wasn't important. Vivian went white. Of course I'm nobody. Her voice shook. But you don't get to forget. I stared at her. For 1 second, 17-year-old me came back. Then something shattered nearby. We turned. Tyler Brooks stood several yards away. Older. Still handsome. Still wearing that carefully harmless expression. Something broken lay near his feet. He was holding Vivian's coat. I looked between them. Of course. 9 years later. Still there. Tyler saw me and smiled. Owen. Very friendly. Long time no see. He stepped closer. I never really got to apologize after you transferred. Then he casually hooked his arm around Vivian's. Possessive. Deliberate. Exactly like high school. I almost respected the consistency. Vivian immediately pulled away. Tyler's face changed. She looked at him. Tyler. Her voice was ice. I told you already. If you want to continue working for my company, stop saying things people can misunderstand. He went pale. Vivian. Are you still upset about what's happened before? He reached for her sleeve. I told you it won't happen again. Let's go home and talk. She ignored him, then looked at me. Years ago, there was an accident involving my family. I frowned. Tyler helped save them. She continued. My mother arranged for him to work at my company afterward. Owen. Tyler tried interrupting. Vivian didn't stop. There has never been anything between Tyler and me. Vivian, stop. Tyler moved closer. Let's go. She didn't even look at him. I have never dated him. They started talking over each other. Tyler was panicking. Vivian kept explaining. My head started hurting. Eventually Vivian caught my wrist. Her fingers tightened. Owen. I looked down. What do I have to do for you to forgive me? I pulled my wrist free. She stared. I never forgot you. 9 years earlier. I would have given anything to hear that. Now. I laughed softly. Stop pretending. Then I got in my car and drove away. The next morning, our company group chat exploded. ***, who owns the black Bentley out front? ***. Then, ***, look at that license plate. Is that basically all sevens? ***. Owner just got out. ***. She's gorgeous. ***. Also terrifying. I sat straight up in bed. Sleep gone. By the time I reached work, the Bentley was still parked outside. So was Vivian. She leaned against the car, head lowered. People were absolutely pretending not to stare. She looked up the second I approached. Owen. I stopped. Can we talk? About what? A lot. I laughed. We have nothing to talk about. Vivian looked at me seriously. I have 9 years of things I want to say. And if I don't want to listen. She stayed quiet for about 2 seconds. Then, you know, patience is the one thing I've never lacked. Suit yourself. I walked inside. Vivian stayed. Morning became afternoon. Afternoon became evening. Then a cold autumn drizzle started. Vivian opened an umbrella and kept waiting. Marcus and Lily Hart, the new intern working with our team, kept looking through the window. Lily was still finishing college. Her family had money. She drove cars no intern had any business driving. She had a loud personality, expensive clothes and absolutely no instinct for self-preservation. She pressed her face closer to the glass. Is she seriously here because of you? Marcus drank coffee. Apparently. Lily clicked her tongue. What did she do? Why do you assume she did something? Lily pointed outside. Standing in the rain, outside somebody's office all day. That is guilt behavior. Marcus nodded thoughtfully. You're learning. Lily crossed her arms. This is public emotional blackmail. Then, women are terrible. Marcus slowly turned toward her. You're a woman. You can't include me. Why? Lily looked offended. I would never make Owen mad. She nodded solemnly. I'd only love him. I looked away. Both idiots. Everyone eventually left. Vivian was still downstairs. I turned off my computer, then quietly escaped through the back door. That night, Marcus created a group chat with Lily. For reasons I still don't understand, those two decided they needed to extract my entire history with Vivian. I was brushing my teeth when the unread count hit 999 plus. Before bed, Lily messaged me privately. Owen. Want me to get revenge for you? Lily loved talking nonsense. I replied. Go to sleep. Big mistake assuming that would end anything. The next morning, Vivian came back. Then Marcus returned upstairs looking disturbed. I narrowed my eyes. What happened? She wants your contact. No. Yeah, I figured. He pointed downward. The problem is she's offering about $3,000 to anybody who gives it to her. I stared. My phone vibrated. A message from someone in another department. Sorry, Owen. It was a lot of money. I'm weak. Immediately after that, new contact request. Name. Vivian Shaw. Message. It's me. I rubbed my temples. Before I could even decide whether to laugh or resign from my job entirely, people started screaming near the windows again. We rushed over. A brightly colored sports car had stopped beside Vivian's Bentley. So close the cars looked like they were about to fight before the owners did. The door opened. Lily stepped out wearing sunglasses. My eyebrow twitched. Oh no. She looked up toward our window, then at Vivian, smirked, raised one hand, and made a gesture that definitely did not mean good morning. I ran downstairs. By the time I arrived, things had already gotten physical enough that security had stepped between them. Nothing serious, but both women looked furious. Lily had a cut near the corner of her mouth. Vivian's face looked worse. Lily immediately came toward me. Her voice became suspiciously sweet. Owen, I'm fine. She touched her lip. She started it, but I fought back. Something in me flared. I looked at Vivian. Can you stop? Vivian stared at me. No matter what Lily said, you didn't have to start a fight. The second those words left my mouth, her face changed. Not anger. Shock. Real shock. Her cheek was bruised, but she barely seemed to notice. You think I started it? I looked away. Lily gave a tiny hiss beside me. Owen, seriously. It's fine. This'll heal. Vivian stared at me like I had hit her a second time. So you don't even ask? Her voice shook. She says one sentence, and you decide I'm guilty. I froze. For half a second, I was 17 again, standing in a classroom, asking Vivian why she believed Tyler. I shoved the memory down. We'll talk after work. Lily immediately held out her hand. Owen, my hand hurts. Vivian looked at her, then at me. I don't think I can drive, Lily said. Then she lowered her eyes dramatically. But if you need to talk to Miss Shaw, it's okay. I can handle it. I looked at Lily. I'll drive you. Vivian went completely still. The light in her eyes slowly disappeared. Lily stayed quiet for several minutes in the car. Then, I started it. I glanced at her. What? She didn't hit first. I sighed. Lily looked completely unashamed. I wanted her to experience it. Experience what? Being blamed without anybody asking. My hands tightened on the steering wheel. Lily looked out the window. She did that to you when you were younger, right? I didn't answer. She smiled faintly. So now she knows. Don't do that again. Fine. I glanced at the cut near her mouth. And stop getting your face damaged. Her eyes widened. That face is too expensive to waste. Lily grinned for the rest of the drive. When I returned, it was nearly dark. Vivian was still there, standing alone. For one stupid second, she looked like an abandoned animal. Then I reminded myself, Vivian had never belonged to me. I walked over. You wanted to talk? She stared at me. I didn't start it. I sighed. That doesn't matter anymore. It matters. She was stubborn about it. You never used to take somebody else's side against me. I almost laughed. That was a long time ago. She flinched. People change. I looked at her. And Lily isn't an outsider to me now. I paused. You are. Vivian repeated the word quietly. Outsider. Then she looked down. And smiled. It was probably the saddest smile I had ever seen on her. When we were 17, her voice became rough. Those days before your birthday, yes, I was with Tyler. I stayed quiet. He kept coming to me, because he wanted to apologize. Vivian swallowed. I knew you hated seeing him, so I didn't tell you. I watched her. On your birthday, Tyler said he bought you a gift. He invited everybody, because he wanted witnesses. I thought. Her eyes closed briefly. I thought if I helped you to make peace, everything would finally be over. She looked at me. Tyler and I never had anything between us. I nodded. Okay. Vivian blinked. I understand. I pulled my coat tighter. Finished. She stared. It's cold. Go home. Her eyes suddenly filled. That's it. What else? You disappear for 9 years without explaining anything. Her voice cracked. And now that I finally explain, you have nothing to say. I almost laughed, because after transferring, I had spent countless nights asking myself exactly why she had done it. Why Vivian, the girl who spent our childhood defending me without even asking? Whether I was right, had suddenly started defending some guy she barely knew. Why Tyler's feelings mattered more than mine. Why she kept doing it even after I told her it hurt. I couldn't forget her for a long time. Vivian was everywhere. Every road home. Every memory from the apartment complex. Every convenience store we used to stop at. Every stupid little thing. Then, slowly, painfully, she stopped being everywhere. And now that I genuinely didn't need an explanation anymore, she finally gave me one. It doesn't matter. I looked at her. Everything's clear now. Then, Vivian, let's end it here. No. She suddenly stepped forward and wrapped both arms around me. Her fingers clenched against my coat. For a second, I thought she was about to cry. Owen. Her voice shook near my ear. After you transferred, I looked everywhere. I didn't move. That birthday. She took a breath. I didn't know the rain would get that bad. I didn't know your bike would break. I shouldn't have made you pick up the cake. I shouldn't have agreed to Tyler's plan. I've thought about it for years. I pulled back. You keep saying I never gave you a chance to explain. Vivian froze. Was that really the problem? What? How many times did you take Tyler's side? Her face went pale. You were always the smartest person I knew. I looked directly into her eyes. So tell me, could you really not tell when Tyler was lying? Vivian couldn't answer. That was enough. I'm sorry. Tears finally fell. It won't happen again. She gripped my coat. Please. Her voice dropped. Don't disappear from me again. I went from city to city looking for you. I had never seen Vivian cry. Not once. She had always been proud down to the bone. When we were kids, I thought Vivian could solve anything. I followed her because if I got into trouble, she fixed it. If I fell, she pulled me up. Back then, I couldn't imagine voluntarily walking away from her. But dependence is dangerous. If you put all your weight on somebody and they move, you fall. I had fallen. Hard. It took years before the bruises stopped hurting. I gently removed her arms. Let it end here. She stared. Vivian, don't come looking for me anymore. Her eyes were red. Her face was white. She couldn't speak. I turned around. Behind me, I heard her voice, barely louder than the wind. I can't. After that, the Bentley disappeared from outside our office. Vivian didn't. Every morning, somebody from a florist arrived. Owen Carter. That's me. These are for you. Fresh flowers. Every single day. At lunchtime, a delivery driver came from my favorite restaurant. Marcus looked at the packaging. Wait. He leaned closer. Isn't this that insanely expensive place we like? The employee smiled. Mr. Carter is now one of our highest tier VIP customers. I frowned. What? If you have any preferred dishes or ingredients, please contact us anytime. It wasn't just that restaurant. Every place I had regularly used suddenly had my name listed as VIP. Coffee shops, clothing stores, restaurants. Then I received a call about my mortgage. The remaining balance had been paid. I nearly dropped my phone. Vivian. Obviously. I contacted her. I'm paying you back. No, I didn't ask you to do this. I know. Then undo it. You can't undo a paid mortgage. Vivian. Consider it repayment. For what? A pause. My mistakes. I rubbed my forehead. I don't want your money. She refused to take it back. Because apparently 9 years had turned Vivian from stubborn into professionally stubborn. The next time I saw her was during a company camping trip. Our boss had chosen a mountain area because a rare meteor shower was supposed to be visible at night. Marcus and Lily talked almost the entire drive. By the time we arrived, I considered leaving both of them in the woods. Then I saw another corporate group nearby, Vivian's company. Of course, she stood some distance away, wearing outdoor clothes, looking cold and composed again. For a second, the Vivian who had cried in my arms felt imaginary. She noticed me, then smiled. What a coincidence. Lily was grilling meat. She laughed. A coincidence. She pointed her tongs toward Vivian. Your headquarters is like 1,000 miles away. Vivian nodded. Our branch is nearby. Lily narrowed her eyes. Since when? Recently. How recently? Vivian looked at her. Very. Lily rolled her eyes, so hard I was afraid they wouldn't come back. Vivian's people had brought almost twice the supplies we had. Food, drinks, camping gear, everything. Our boss had wanted to cooperate with Vivian's company for a long time, so when she casually suggested combining the two camping groups, he agreed immediately. Lily glared at him. You sold us out. Our boss grabbed some grilled meat. Free resources. He took a bite. Why would I refuse? Lily intentionally gave him the most burned piece she could find next. I saw Tyler among Vivian's employees. He had become quieter. He kept watching Vivian, but unlike the night at the business reception, he didn't rush toward her. For a while, everything stayed normal. I stood beside the grill. Vivian came over. Need help? Before I answered, she took several skewers from my hand. Fat dripped onto the heat. The grill hissed. Vivian looked at me. How have you been? Fine. Work okay? Yeah. She nodded. That's good. I could feel Tyler staring from across the campsite. Eventually, he came over. For one stupid second, I wondered whether he had finally grown up. Then a bowl of hot soup suddenly fell. Tyler cried out. Everyone turned. Soup splashed across his hand. He stared at me. Same expression. Same little pause. Same trick. 9 years later, I almost laughed. This idiot had learned absolutely nothing. Before I could say anything, Marcus and Lily were already there. Lily stared at Tyler. Seriously. Marcus folded his arms. You're doing this here. Tyler blinked. What? Lily pointed around. This is our company outing. Then she laughed. Owen is our guy. You seriously think you can randomly frame him here? I didn't. And honestly, Lily leaned forward. Even if Owen had done it, I'd assume you deserved it. Tyler went white. This wasn't how he remembered things going. Back in high school, I'd been alone. Now I wasn't. People knew me, worked with me, trusted me. And before Tyler could look toward his own colleagues for support, Vivian stepped in front of him. No hesitation. No softness. Go back to the office. Tyler stared. What? Write your resignation. His face strained. Vivian. Then move to another city. Nobody spoke. Tyler looked around desperately. Nobody came to rescue St. Tyler. For once, his sad face performed no miracles. I noticed a cup of cold water beside me, picked it up, then poured it over his head. Tyler jerked backward. His eyes widened. I held up the empty cup. This time, I smiled. That actually was me. Everybody stared. You've spent years wanting me to pour something on you. I shrug. I'd hate to disappoint you forever. Lily burst out laughing. Marcus turned away to hide his face. Tyler left soaked. Good. The meteor shower never appeared. The wind just got colder. At some point, I walked away to get a scarf. The area around the campsite was dark. I stepped badly on the uneven path. My ankle rolled. Pain shot up my leg. I dropped. Damn it. Footsteps came running. Then Vivian appeared beside me. Owen. She crouched immediately. What happened? Nothing. You're sitting on the ground. I noticed. She touched my ankle. I hissed. Her expression changed. She helped me up without another argument and put most of my weight against her. Cars couldn't reach that part of the mountain. We had to walk down. Step after step. Vivian kept asking. Does it hurt? No. That was a lie. It hurt like hell. Eventually, I stopped talking because talking required energy I preferred to use on not swearing. Vivian seemed to understand. So she started talking. Childhood. Our old apartment complex. Grandma. School. Things I remembered. Things I didn't. Then she asked, do you remember the watch? I opened my eyes. What watch? She gave me a look. I sighed. Yes, the birthday one. Yes, Vivian. A faint smile appeared. I still have it. I looked at her. What? It's in my cabinet. Why? She ignored the question. You always wondered how I knew you wanted it, didn't you? I had. Never asked. Vivian kept looking ahead. The first time you saw it online, I noticed. You stayed on the page longer than usual." She smiled slightly. So I started preparing. My throat tightened. For a while, there was only the sound of our footsteps and the wind. Then Vivian said, "After you ran out that birthday, I stayed quiet. I followed you." I looked at her. But then I got a call. Her voice lowered. "Something happened at home. I had to go back immediately. For the next few days, everything was chaos." She swallowed. But I kept thinking that once it was finished, I'd go find you. I thought. She laughed softly. "I thought I'd let you yell at me for as long as you wanted. I'd apologize. I'd never make you angry like that again." Her smile vanished. "Then you were gone." She had called me, blocked, messaged me, blocked. She assumed I was still angry, so she bought another birthday cake, went to my old home, and waited. All day, then all night. The cake slowly melted until it barely looked like a cake anymore. The door never opened. Then one day at school, Vivian saw Aunt Grace processing my transfer papers. That was when she realized I hadn't simply gone quiet. She ran out of class, begged my aunt to tell her where I had gone, again and again. Aunt Grace refused. "You transferred without saying anything." Vivian's voice sounded half accusing, half broken. "You didn't even say goodbye." I looked toward the dark path. I didn't know what to say. So I changed the subject. "Stop buying things for me." Vivian went quiet. "The VIP accounts, nothing. And the mortgage." Her body stiffened. "I'm paying you back." She suddenly stopped walking. "Owen, what? Do you hate having contact with me that much?" I looked at her. "I don't like owing people." "You don't owe me. You took care of me a lot when we were kids." My voice softened slightly. "So consider everything even." Her expression changed. "No, Vivian, I don't want even." She started walking again. Her fingers trembled, maybe because of the cold, maybe not. My ankle hurt enough that my eyes were watering. After a while, I said, "I'm leaving the city." Vivian stopped. "What?" "Our company is opening another branch." I looked ahead. "My boss wants me to lead it." Her entire body stiffened. The wind moved through the trees. She took a breath, then asked in a voice I barely recognized, "Leaving again?" "Yeah." She said nothing else. She just kept helping me down the mountain. Vivian took me all the way to the hospital. Registration, imaging, medication, everything. Eventually I was lying in a hospital bed. She sat beside me. The room became quiet. Vivian stared at me for so long it got uncomfortable, like she was trying to memorize every detail of my face. Finally, she smiled. It was a terrible smile. "When are you coming back?" I looked at her. "Who knows?" Her eyes shifted. "If everything goes well, maybe someday." I paused. "Maybe never." Vivian swallowed. I had never seen her look that sad. Then, her voice was barely there. "Will we see each other again?" I pulled the blanket higher, then shook my head. "Probably not." Whatever light had still been in Vivian's eyes disappeared. She lowered her head. A long time passed. Then one quiet word came from her throat. "Okay." The day I left the city, it snowed. The air was cold enough to hurt. I pulled my suitcase behind me. I knew Vivian was there, somewhere behind me, not far away. I didn't have to turn around. I could feel it. Once, I had built almost my entire emotional world around one person. That is a terrifying thing to do. I learned it when I was 17. I leaned too hard. She moved. I fell. And it took years before I learned how to stand normally again. Maybe Vivian really had searched for me. Maybe she really regretted everything. Maybe she had loved me in her own stupid, stubborn, selfish way all along. None of that changed the rain. None of it changed the classroom. None of it changed every time I looked at her while she defended Tyler and wondered why I wasn't worth defending anymore. People love saying broken things can be repaired. Sometimes they can, but repaired doesn't mean restored. You can glue a mirror back together. The cracks are still there. I didn't hate Vivian. That was probably the clearest proof that I had finally moved on. I just didn't want to become that 17-year-old boy again. So I tightened my grip around the suitcase handle and kept walking. One step, then another. Snow kept falling. Vivian stayed somewhere behind me. I never turned around. Not once. This story is entirely fictional and created for entertainment purposes. All characters, relationships, workplaces, medical circumstances, financial events, investigations, and legal outcomes are invented for dramatic storytelling.